Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. In this week's Parsha, it talks about Hashem giving Moshe the luchos, and then it was the luchos rishonos, and he comes down and he sees the tragic event of the Maisa Egel, and he goes back up to get, Moshe pleads, and Hashem forgives Klal Yisrael, and Moshe goes back to get the luchos shnias, and it's accepted that they came down the first time Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, and that's when he broke the luchos. It's one of the tragic events that took place in Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, and he goes back up Rosh Chodesh Elul, and the luchos shnias, he comes down on Yom Kippur, and that's when Hashem says, and that's when we realize that Hashem salachti kidvarecha. Now let's talk a little about the miraculous luchos habris, the shnei luchos habris. First of all, the Gemara tells us, and it's brought in a couple places, that the luchos were so fascinating, so special, that it wasn't just created right then and there. It says, Asara dvarim nivru be'erev Shabbos bein hashmashos. There are 10 things were created in the beginning, when Hashem created the world. Friday afternoon, right before Shabbos, there were 10 things that created, and we know what the Mishnah in Masechta Avos says. Amongst them, some learn the luchos were created back then. That's like the final knockout, final preparation for the world to begin and the world to run is the shnei luchos habris. Many miracles are attributed to the letters on the luchos. We know that the pasuk says that they were able to be read from both sides, and that alone is a miracle, because certain letters, if it doesn't have a background to keep it in, it would fall out. And the 3 letters that we know is a final mem, a final mem, a samach, and a vav. So those 3 letters, it's really a mem and a samach that most of the Mefarshim say, but a vav too. For it to be read from both sides, there's nothing really to hold it up. And yet, there was a miracle than Oisir Shabaluchis. The Oisir Shabaluchis B'nes Ho'ya'endim. And the weight and the size and the shape, all full of miracles. But I want to talk to you about 2 points. I want to talk to you about the Yerushalmi and Masechta Shkolim, which you might find very interesting. Everybody knows that there were 2 tablets. There were 2 stones. And the Yerushalmi and Masechta Shkolim, halacha, Perek Shishi, Perek Vav, halacha Aleph, asks a question. Keitzad hoyu haluchos ksuvim. How were the luchos written? Meaning to say, how was the writing written on the luchos? There were 2 tablets. We know there are 2 stones. But how was the 10 commandments written on the stones? So the first opinion says, Rabbi Chanino ben Gamliel Eimer, Chamisha aluach zeh v'chamisha aluach zeh. 5 commandments on the right, on one stone, and 5 commandments on the left stone. And he brings a pasuk, Vayichteveim al shnei luchos habris, from Chamisha aluach zeh v'chamisha aluach zeh. That's what we all know, right? Well, there are other opinions. Rabbanan Amri, no. Asara aluach zeh v'asara aluach zeh. On each stone, all 10 commandments were written. 10 on the right, 10 on the left. And he brings a pasuk, Hadeinu diksiv, vayagid lachem es brisei ashetziva eschem laseis aseras hadvarim. Asara aluach zeh, v'asara aluach zeh. Rab Shimon ben Yochai Yomer, esrim aluach zeh, v'esrim aluach zeh. It was repeated again and again, and it's read from both sides. So it's 10 on each side, so it's 20 in every stone. Esrim aluach zeh, v'esrim aluach zeh. Rab Simai Amar, arba'im aluach zeh, 40 times on each stone, because it's, as I said, it repeats itself on each stone, and it's read from both sides. Va'arba'im aluach zeh. So, what we all speak about, 5 on each, you have to be aware, other opinions, other Tanaim say it was many more. And it could be that on one stone, all the Aseret Dibros were written, were carved out, and maybe more than once, and reds from both sides. The most common picture design that we know is 5 on the right, 5 on the left. Now that teaches us a very strong lesson. The 5 on the right and the 5 on the left it seems to be that the ones on the right are bein adam lamokim, all the mitzvahs that are between man and God, and the one on the left is bein adam lechaverei, the mitzvahs to how you deal with your friends, how you deal with man. Interesting that kibud of aim is the number 5 of bein adam lamokim, because the Torah says that respecting, honoring your parents is honoring Hashem. So it's under the category of bein adam lamokim. So the story is told. The story is told, and the Chazal explain that the 2 luchos abris had half of the luchos in one, half of the luchos in other. So the Avis the Rab Nosson says that when Moshe saw the Maisa Egel, he wanted to drop the luchos and break them. So the Shivim Zkenim came over to him, and they didn't want to let him drop the luchos. And he was grabbing it from one side, they were grabbing it from another side. Moshe, being much stronger, he was able to grab it away and break it. And all the Mefarshim are trying to figure out what's the debate here. So one beautiful Mefarish says that when Moshe Rabbeinu comes down and he sees that the Yidden are not as good as they're meant to be for Bein Adam L'Makom because they made an egel, so Moshe Rabbeinu says, that's a package deal. Yiddishkeit, you don't split Bein Adam L'Chaveirei and Bein Adam L'Makom. You can't say you're good in one, and I'm not going to worry about the other part of Torah. It's a whole grand package deal. If you're not good in one, the whole thing collapses. The Zekanim said, let's split. All right, Bein Adam L'Makom, we're not there yet. It's not great. But give us the Bein Adam L'Chaveirei. Let at least have one part of the edus, of the luchos, shnei luchos abris. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, no. He grabbed them all away, and he breaks it because he teaches us there are no two parts in Torah. It's all one big din. Now we all know what the Gemara says in Baba Basra. The Gemara says in Baba Basra, Kuf Samachei Amud Aleph, that Roiv begezel, that a lot of people are easy in doing gezel, stealing. They find the ways how to cheat and steal. Umiut ba'arayas. And some people, but it's not as popular, who commit adultery. So in the Sefer Yeminas Smoil, Perek Beis Daf Yud Ches explains it beautifully. He says, in a place, in a community, in a city where it's Roiv Yisrael, and he brings an example, and back then it was Poland, Galicia, then Roiv Begezel. What does that mean? You find that the people in that community go to shul, they daven, all the mitzvahs, bein adam l'makom, they're very careful. But begezel, stealing from somebody else, they don't care. Umiyut, however, in a place where the Jewish people are the minority, very few, and he brings the example of Ashkenaz and Sarfas, then you'll see that ba'arayas, over there, adultery is, everybody is doing what they want in arayas. But they're worried about gezel and hainah. They're worried about making sure not to steal. And we can't have any one of this. For Yiddishkeit, it's a package deal.